Draped in perpetual mist, lies a forest shrouded in mystery. Few dare to tread upon its soil, for those who dare venture into its depths seldom return. The locals, speaking in hushed tones, refer to it as the Veilstead Forest, a name that evokes its elusive nature. The allure of the unknown grips the heart of a woman named Evelyn. The story she had heard since childhood, the tales woven with fear and awe, pique her curiosity. She decides to challenge the ominous reputation of the Veilstead Forest. One fog-laden morning, with a backpack slung over her shoulder, Evelyn stepped beyond the threshold of ordinary and into the realm of the mystical. And so, her adventure into the enigmatic Veilstead Forest begins. As Evelyn delved deeper, the familiar sights of the outer world began to blur. All around her, the forest draped itself in an eerie silence, a hush that was punctuated only by the melancholic creak of gnarled branches and the distant murmur of a hidden stream. The trees, ancient and twisted, seemed to shift and rearrange themselves in a choreographed dance, creating an ever-changing landscape that defied the laws of nature and logic. Her footprints left behind on the mossy ground disappeared as if swallowed by the forest floor. The trails she traversed, seemingly familiar, would lead her to clearings that bore no semblance to the ones she had just left behind. The forest was playing a game, weaving illusions that toyed with her senses, challenging her grasp on reality. Evelyn's heart pounded in her chest as the realization set in. The Veilstead Forest was not merely a congregation of trees, it was a living, breathing entity, pulsating with an otherworldly energy. The forest, in its deceptive tranquility, was a labyrinth, an enigma that held her captive in its heart. Confusion morphed into panic, a cold fear that gripped her, as she grappled with the forest's supernatural nature. The once enticing adventure was now a terrifying ordeal. The ever-shifting maze, each step leading her deeper into the heart of the Veilstead. Days blurred into nights, and Evelyn's futile attempts to escape only deepened her entanglement. The forest seemed to feed on her desperation, its twisted trees dancing in the eerie glow of perpetual twilight. Hunger gnawed at her insides like a relentless beast, and exhaustion draped over her like a heavy cloak, pulling her down with every step. As she navigated the deceptive labyrinth, Evelyn stumbled upon the chilling remnants of those who had dared to challenge the forest before her. Discarded belongings, tattered maps, and the skeletal remains of the unfortunate souls echoed the grim tales she had heard as a child. Each artifact was a haunting testament to the forest's insidious nature, its ability to lure, confuse, and ultimately, claim. Her heart pounded in her chest as she picked up a weathered compass, its needle spinning wildly, devoid of any sense of direction, much like herself. Evelyn could feel the cold tendrils of fear creeping up her spine, her breath hitching in her throat. The forest, in its cruel mockery, seemed to grow denser, the shadows deeper. A profound dread washed over her as she considered the skeletal remains, their silent screams echoing in her mind. Time lost its meaning within the ever-shifting corridors of the Veilstead Forest. Evelyn's spirit, once brimming with anticipation and curiosity, was now a mere specter of its former self. The tantalizing promise of adventure had morphed into a perpetual nightmare, the forest's deceptive dance holding her captive in its spectral grasp. She became another skeleton in the forest. Her acceptance was not sudden but rather a slow, creeping realization. The forest was not a conquerable adversary, but an enigmatic entity that toyed with her perception of reality. Evelyn had become a part of the Veilstead Forest, her story another echo in its haunted halls. The forest, relentless in its pursuit, continued its siren song, drawing in unsuspecting souls with its hypnotic rhythm. Each newcomer expanded its ethereal domain, their stories woven into the fabric of the Veilstead's haunting tapestry.